Hi, my name is Maria, and today I'm making fudgesicles or fudge pops or fudgicles or whatever you want to call them. But these things taste just like the ones you get at the store. They are fat-free because I make them with fat-free evaporated milk. And I've tried lots of different recipes, and this is the one. So we start with sugar and cocoa powder. I prefer Dutch cocoa powder, which has an alkaline process, but you could use natural cocoa powder too, no worries. And then cornstarch. Cornstarch is what's going to thicken it up, give you that nice drippy kind of awesome texture. And then just a pinch of salt. Now I'm going to mash this together with my spatula. And the reason I do this is you want to get the cornstarch kind of broken up and integrated into the sugar so you don't get clumps when you add the liquids. If you have cocoa powder that's kind of got big chunks in it, I sometimes have crumbly cocoa powder, you might actually need to sift it just to make sure you don't get lumps. In the end, it doesn't really matter too much because the frozen, once it's frozen, you won't really tell one way or the other. But it's always best to start off with the best product you can. All right, so that is all pretty well integrated, and now I'm adding my evaporated milk. You could add whole milk or cream if you wanted to make them nice and creamy, but the nice thing about the evaporated milk is that it gives you that creaminess without the fat. If you use skim milk, just regular skim milk, you might get it a little more icy because of the water content. So once that's incorporated, whoops, we should add them both just to make sure. Now I'm going to turn the heat on this, and then we'll just bring it to just a bare simmer. It'll take maybe 5 minutes. Been about 5 minutes, and this is nice and velvety and thick. It's not super thick. It's not like pudding thick. It's just the perfect thickness. I'm going to add a little vanilla. If you were going to get creative with this, you could add like peppermint schnapps or hazelnut liqueur or cinnamon or all sorts of things. This is a pretty basic recipe that you can do so many things with. And now we just let it cool until it's about room temperature, and then we'll put it in the molds and freeze it. I've transferred my fudgesicle mix to a big measuring cup just to make it easier to pour, and now we just fill these little molds. There are all kinds of molds. You can get them that are metal. This is about a 3-ounce mold. Each one is 3 ounces. They have different sizes. You could do the skinny ones. With this recipe, it makes 8 of these molds. Depending on which molds you use, you might get more or less. Now, if you put this in the fridge, you might end up with a little bit of a chocolate skin on top. That is yours to eat. You shouldn't put it in the fudgesicle or you'll have kind of a weird goopy spot. Like I said, this makes 8, so once these cool, I'll pop them out and make some more. You want to freeze these for about 4 hours, kind of depending on your fridge, but 4 hours is kind of the general rule of thumb to make sure it's completely frozen solid before you unmold them. Okay, here they are fresh out of the freezer, and we're just going to unmold them. For that, you want to use kind of tepid water, not too hot. And you can either run it under the sink or dump it in a bowl. And we're just going to let it sit just a little bit in the water. You want to be careful pulling it out because you don't want to come up with just the stick. That's very sad. So there it is, the homemade fudge pop. Way, way better than anything you're going to get in the store. I guarantee it.